Welcome everyone, live for GTW Dystopia. We're here in Miami, Florida. I'm your host, Infinite Fantasy. We're in this sold out crowd. We are just days away from WrestleNova. And here comes the World Heavyweight Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin, making his way out to the ring. In front of this live crowd, he will be defending the World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way match against Benjamin Bourne, Hercules, and Jon Moxley. It will also be Steve Austin's retirement match. Win or lose, belt or not, this will be the final time Steve Austin will step inside a ring. This is a must-see match and a must-see pay-per-view event. WrestleNova will be live streaming here at Infinite Fantasy Twitch.tv on both Saturday and Sunday night. Now, I know we got a big show ahead of us and all. I won't be out here for long. Jon Moxley, come out here and I'll cut right to the chase. I just want you to come on out here. I have a favor to ask you. You take away our world title, and you have the nerve to ask me for a favor? It is actually a huge favor, and I know you're the only one who could do it. It's really important to me. Important. Very important. You see, me, you, Hercules, Bourne, we got our big fatal four-way match for the World Heavyweight title. As you know, win or lose, this is my last match. So I really need this favor from you. It really would mean the world to me. What is it? Moxley, I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. Will you please provoke me? Come again? It really would mean so much to me. I need this more than anything right now. I have this itch, and honestly, I don't know if I can wait till WrestleNova. So Moxley, please, pretty please, with sugar on top, provoke me. Okay. Moxley now obliging Stone Cold Steve Austin, throwing the first punch. Stone Cold Steve Austin asking Moxley for a favor to be provoked. This is about the third man he's asked, and Moxley, I think, is the first one to actually oblige Austin here. It figures it would be Jon Moxley, of all people, would have no issues trading blows with the Texas Rattlesnake. As Moxley those heavy punches onto Austin. We got a little preview of what could happen in this fatal four-way match as Stone Cold Steve Austin and Jon Moxley go into an all-out fight. What a way to start off GTW Dystopia live here in Miami, Florida. Austin coming in with those elbow drops. Moxley barely getting to his feet now, and the Texas Rattlesnake with a Stone Cold Stunner over the top rope there. A stunner bringing Moxley's throat across the top rope. Stone Cold knowing no bounds. This is not a match, folks. This is an all-out fight. It was on Brawl where Charles Elliott said that Stone Cold Steve Austin could not assault another wrestler unless physically provoked. And here we go. Stone Cold asked nicely, and he's been provoked. Austin traps in the corner. Here comes Moxley running in from across the ring, taking Austin down. Coming in with those stomps. And I don't know how smart it is about these two men doing this just days away from their title match. And it looks like Austin just got the final word there. Security finally running out, breaking these two, oh my God, these two madmen apart. I mean, finally, somebody here has to do it. Welcome everyone to GTW Dystopia. I'm your host, Infinite Fantasy, and we got a night for you here. Coming up, we have Amber Charlotte in a non-title match against the timeless Toni Storm as a preview match to WrestleNova. Another preview match, Katana Chance versus Fuego Lopez. And we got Rebecca Troy versus Haley Webb. We got a full card ahead tonight with the women's division. And also, we're going to be hearing from the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. The same Steven Dynamite who will be main eventing night 1 of WrestleNova when he goes one-on-one against the final boss, The Rock. That's right, you heard it here. The main event for WrestleNova night 1 will be a street fight. Steven Dynamite versus The Rock. And the future of GTW may hang in the balance. The Rock threatens that after he wins, he's going to sign the papers to own GTW. He's going to fire Charles Elliott. He's going to fire half the staff that are friends with Steven Dynamite. He's going to make his friends, The Witch and Amanda Price, suffer to no end. And he's going to force Steven Dynamite to be under his wing like he originally intended. But if Steven Dynamite wins, all that can go away. He can keep everyone he cares about in GTW safe. Everything hinges on that one match at WrestleNova. When we return, we're going to have our opening match. Amber Charlotte versus the timeless Toni Storm. Right here on Dystopia, so don't go away. Evening, Charles. If it isn't our Hall of Famer, the King Demon Sebation. Douglas, how you doing, my old friend? Listen, I understand you got a bit of a bind going on right now. I think we can help each other out. I need you to book a match for me tonight. You're not serious, are you? I thought Dio made it clear. Frankly, I agree with him. I never thought I'd say that, but I do. You're not medically cleared. Would you believe me if I said I was doing this for him and not me? The answer is no. You could die stepping in that ring. Charles, I never asked for anything. Now I know you got a big job security issue. You do this for me, and I may be able to do something for you. Book the match. What will your daughter say? I'll worry about my daughter. Can you do it? You know you can't help me if you're buried. King Demon Sebation is immortal. Very well. Only this one time. Tonight's main event. King Demon Sebation versus Dio Sebation. Non-title match. Thank you, Charles. I will not let you regret this.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Old Gods from Adelaide, Australia, the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte.
And it's time for tonight's opening match here on Dystopia. We have the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte, making her way to the ring to face the timeless Toni Storm. Amber Charlotte will be the #1 contender for the GTW Women's Intercontinental Championship this weekend at WrestleNova, as she'll be taking on Haley Webb. Toni Storm, on the other hand, will be defending her Women's United States Championship at WrestleNova when she takes on Amber Charlotte's tag team partner, Rebecca Troy. Tonight, Amber Charlotte's mission is clear. Weaken Rebecca Troy enough for Rebecca Troy to take the gold at this weekend's big pay-per-view event.
And her opponent, from Gold Coast, Australia, the Women's United States Champion, Toni Storm.
And here comes Toni Storm, making her way to the ring, the United States Champion. Like the star she is, she's making her way, ready to take on Amber Charlotte in this non-title match. For Amber Charlotte, this is about weakening Toni Storm. For Toni Storm, this is just a warm-up before she gets to her partner, Rebecca Troy. The only thing that I know for sure is, knowing Toni, tonight she's gonna make this a performance of a lifetime. There we go. Again, the United States Championship is not on the line. This is a non-title match. This is a warm-up going into WrestleNova. Amber Charlotte will be getting her title opportunity when she takes on Haley Webb for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. For Toni Storm, this is just a warm-up before she defends her Women's United States Championship against Rebecca Troy. Vice versa, Rebecca Troy will be taking on Haley Webb later on tonight. So basically, the opponents have been switched for preview matches here tonight. Speaking of preview matches, we have Katana Chance taking on Fuego Lopez, both one half of the tag teams facing each other for the women's tag team titles at WrestleNova. Amazing gator roll by Toni Storm, now placing Amber Charlotte in a crossface. And a huge arm twister by Toni Storm. And look at Amber Charlotte just raking the back of Toni Storm there. And what a drop onto that unforgiving floor. Only a thin layer of mat between them and that concrete. Toni Storm now has Amber Charlotte thrusting the knee onto the shoulder, wrenching the head. And I'll tell you, it seems the way this match is going, Toni Storm is the one doing Haley Webb the favor. Last week on DYSTOPIA, it was Haley Webb and Toni Storm teaming together in tag team action to take on Amber Charlotte and Rebecca Troy, two members of the Old Gods, a faction created by Hercules. At WrestleNova, all 5 members of the Old Gods will have a huge match. Rebecca Troy will be taking on Toni Storm for the Women's United States Championship. Amber Charlotte taking on Haley Webb for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Archangel will be defending the Hardcore Championship in a 6-man Hardcore elimination match against 5 other ECW legends. Damian Maximus will be defending his European Championship against the Russian Gladiator, Andre Armstrong. And then Hercules will be competing in a fatal 4-way match for the World Heavyweight title against World Heavyweight Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, Benjamin Bourne, and Jon Moxley, which we already got a bit of a preview. And what's this? That's Jamie Hayter's music. But Jamie Hayter, she's supposed to be out of action. She's been hospitalized. She's been hospitalized a month ago. And there's Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter from behind. But Amber Charlotte saw it coming. Amber Charlotte saw Jamie Hayter coming. Jamie Hayter attempting to attack Amber Charlotte from behind, making a grand return. However, it seemed the false entrance backfired. Amber Charlotte ended up seeing Jamie Hayter coming. It's amazing that Jamie Hayter is now back in the ring, but I guess nothing gets past Amber Charlotte. Amber Charlotte and the Old Gods, they've made a career off of distractions and interference. I guess it takes one to know one. No one would know how to counter something like that better than someone like Amber Charlotte. Now Amber Charlotte coming in. Fisherman DDT on Toni Storm. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. But Toni Storm able to kick out. She's got the submission hold. Toni Storm in the middle of the ring. And a huge backbreaker. By the time it's Toni Storm, that she goes for the pin, but Amber Charlotte kicks out. Oh, and here comes Amber Charlotte. Open hand chops to Toni Storm. Storm able to counter out. Here comes the Irish Whip, and she throws Amber Charlotte over the top rope. And look at Toni Storm celebrating. Sidewalk slam by Toni Storm, the Women's United States Champion, with a huge advantage over Amber Charlotte in this match. And look at her just picking up that dead weight. And she just German suplexed Amber Charlotte into the barricade. Even from here at the announcer's desk, I can see Amber Charlotte's head just bouncing off that barricade. And Toni Storm showing absolutely no mercy towards this member of the Old Gods. We're now halfway through the count out. Toni Storm with a fisherman suplex. And Toni Storm making her way back in the ring, taunting Amber Charlotte here. As she dives right out of the ring, Toni Storm with an offensive move, breaking the ring out. Referee restarting the count. Toni Storm rolling back in the ring. And Amber Charlotte being very wary if she even wants to get back in there with her. And here comes Charlotte back in the ring. Toni Storm, oh my gosh, what a maneuver by Toni. 1, 2, but Amber Charlotte able to kick out. And the crowd here in Miami, Florida, going absolutely nuts here. The sold-out arena completely on their feet at the moment. And there's Amber Charlotte kicked it ahead to Toni Storm. And there's the Executioner DDT. Amber Charlotte's finisher move, but she looks like she's not done yet. She throws Toni Storm against the ropes. She goes under, over, full momentum. And just look at her. Left and right on Toni Storm's skull. Now going for the pin. 1, 2. And Toni Storm gets the shoulder up. And just look at that tantrum being thrown by Amber Charlotte. Completely denying the reality of that kick out. Looks like all Toni Storm did by kicking out was make her angry. Because here comes a second Executioner's DDT. 1, 2, 3, and Amber Charlotte picks up the win. If this was a title match, we would have a new U.S. champion.
Here is your winner, the Warrior Princess, Amber Charlotte.
Amber Charlotte has not only done her job of weakening Toni Storm, but may have sent a message to Haley Webb as well that the Women's Intercontinental Championship is hers. And this has got to be sweet revenge for Amber Charlotte. It was Toni Storm who beat her for the Women's United States Championship. And I think Amber Charlotte might have just gotten a degree of pleasure pinning Toni Storm right there for the 1, 2, 3. When we return here on Dystopia, we have another singles bout for the women's division. When we get to WrestleNova, the women's tag team titles will be on the line, as Kaden Carter and Katana Chance will be challenging Fuego Lopez and Flamer. However, tonight, as a preview to that women's tag team title match, Katana Chance will be going one-on-one with Fuego Lopez, and that's coming up next. And don't forget, we still have our new impromptu main event, and this is a big one. What we're getting tonight here on Dystopia, this is some pay-per-view level stuff. This is something that people would have paid millions to have seen. We got the Hall of Famer, Douglas, the King Demon Sebation, taking on his son, Dio, here tonight for our main event, right here on Dystopia, on the eve of WrestleNova. This is going to be a match that's either going to live in legendary or tragedy. The only way to find out is to tune in and watch the main event here tonight. When we return, we got Katana Chance versus Fuego Lopez after a quick break. So, Dad, I heard the news. Once The Rock beats Steven Dynamite against control of GTW, it looks like you're out. Any chance your successor as director will be, I don't know, me? First of all, Damien, I do not choose who takes my job. But if I did, it would not be you. Not after everything you have done to betray our family. And second, I'm not going anywhere because Dynamite will not lose. And third of all, I would be more worried about your title defense against Armstrong at WrestleNova than my position. Oh, and by the way, Damien, your European title defense is now a submission match. Wait, what? Enjoy your night, son.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing Les Femmes Fatales from Tala, Jalisco, Mexico. One half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Lopez.
And here comes one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Fuego Lopez. Her and Flamer will be defending the Tag Team Championship at WrestleNova against Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. But tonight, she'll be going one-on-one against one of her challengers in a preview match for what's going to happen in this weekend's big pay-per-view event.
And her opponent from Glen Ridge, New Jersey, Katana Chance.
And here comes Katana Chance, the tag team partner of Kaden Carter. Together, they will be challenging Las Femmes Fatales for the women's tag team titles. After winning a gruesome #1 contender match against Truth and Consequences, they will now, they have earned the right to challenge for the tag team titles. This will be their second time challenging for the championship. However, one must ask, will they be able to succeed this time, defeating Flamer and Fuego Lopez? And here we go, Lopez ready, Katana Chance is ready. And here comes the bell, and there's a treat. It's not often we get to see Katana Chance in singles action. Fuego Lopez, before teaming up with Flamer, has been noted for her singles action in the women's division. She was a former Women's United States champion. Fuego Lopez known for her high-flying, high-risk mobility, her luchador style in the ring. Katana Chance, not able to rely on Kaden Carter, is going to have to pull out all the stops to win this singles bout. You see Lopez just towering over Katana Chance, a huge size difference. She's got size, speed, agility. Lopez just might be a better competitor physically overall in this singles match. A lot of people say that singly, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance are no good on their own, and their success strictly relies on the reliance on each other as a tag team. And tonight, Katana Chance was going to have the chance to prove everyone wrong. Now they grapple up. Katana Chance bringing Fuego Lopez into the corner. And this Katana Chance taking Fuego Lopez off her feet. And now she's going for the pin. 1, 2. A win for Katana Chance here tonight would mean a lot. It would mean, honestly, like I said, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, frankly, are competing against Fuego Lopez and Flamer for the tag team titles at WrestleNova. So if Katana Chance were to score a win in a singles match, that would kind of symbolize that maybe we could have new tag team champions at WrestleNova. Now Katana Chance. Amazing nimbleness off that second rope, showing her own high-flying style, showing that she can keep up with Lopez's luchador style. Now Lopez with a counter. Open hand slap across the face. She grapples up and slams Katana Chance into the top turnbuckle. There's Lopez. And look at that upper body strength. Look at that nimbleness. Just being able to spring around on the ropes like that. She comes with a lion salt. Nobody home as Katana Chance moves out of the way. Lopez able to counter with a fireman's carry. And there's a DDT by Lopez. Lopez now making her way to the top turnbuckle. Comes flying in with a frog splash. She's going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Lopez picks up the victory. Possibly a sign of things to come. And look at that. Look at that. These two are going to be competing against each other for the tag team titles. And you could just see the respect between these two women as Lopez offers her hand out of respect for Katana Chance. And Katana Chance raising Lopez's arm up in victory, and that's what I like to see. That's what it's all about right here. These two women are in it for the sport. They're in it for the competition. And I can tell just by seeing that sign of respect between these two women that when Lopez and Flamer take on Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, when they defend those tag team titles at WrestleNova, it's going to be a tag team match for the ages. Dad, of all the stupid things you could have done, we talked about this. You can't get in the ring anymore. Your heart. I can handle my heart, and I can handle your brother. I'm serious, Dad. We can't have you going to the hospital or worse. Not ever, let alone before WrestleNova. Your brother needs to learn a lesson. Then let me teach it to him. That's my responsibility. You're retired for a reason. He's my son, and he's my brother. You know, I spoke to him after your talk with him on Brawl. The only thing it seems me and Dio agree on is that you should not fight. Now you're cornering Dio. He doesn't want this match. What will this do to him if you die in that ring? Then call off your match at WrestleNova. No? No, I didn't think so. You see, we Sebastians, deep down, are the same. We just can't stay out of that ring. Dad, please. I promise I'll be fine. I know what I'm doing. It was on Brawl where Douglas Sebastian, the father of the Witch and Dio Sebation, has come out to confront Dio about the main event of WrestleNova, about taking on his sister, the Witch, in a Iron Man Hell in a Cell match, where Dio tried to justify his actions. As a result, they had words, and Dio let slip that he was better than his father. It's said Douglas over the edge, and now he's coming back to the ring here tonight, even though Dio refused to challenge. Charles Elliott has given Douglas this one favor. One for one night only tonight, the main event. It's going to be the return of the Demon King Sebation, the GTW Hall of Famer, as he takes on his son, Dio. This is a pay-per-view level main event here tonight. But for now, we got one more match before we get into tonight's main event. Rebecca Troy versus Haley Webb. Earlier tonight, we saw Toni Storm in a non-title match against Amber Charlotte. Amber Charlotte ended up dominating in the end. Can Rebecca Troy do the same? Remember, at WrestleNova, it's going to be Rebecca Troy versus Toni Storm for the U.S. title. It's going to be Amber Charlotte versus Haley Webb for the Intercontinental Championship. Could we be seeing a sign of things to come if Rebecca Troy gets the victory here tonight? Let's find out. Rebecca Troy versus Haley Webb, non-title match right here on Dystopia.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the Old Gods from Baltimore, Maryland, the Olympian Rebecca Troy.
And here comes another member of the Old Gods, Rebecca Troy. Last week, there was a tag team match between Rebecca Troy and Amber Charlotte, representing the Old Gods against Toni Storm and Haley Webb, where they were humiliated, losing that tag team match. Earlier tonight, Amber Charlotte got some retribution on Toni Storm. If you remember at Friday Night All-Star, it was Toni Storm who defeated Amber Charlotte for the Women's U.S. title. And Amber Charlotte defeated Toni Storm here tonight. If that was a title match, the belt would have changed hands. However, because the title matches are set this weekend for WrestleNova, all matches tonight will not be for any titles. Tonight, it's all previews. These are just the trailers for things to come for our two-night event. Because when the dust is settled between Haley Webb and Rebecca Troy here tonight, Rebecca Troy will be setting her eyes on Toni Storm for that U.S. title. And it will be Amber Charlotte setting her eyes on Haley Webb for the Intercontinental Championship. We got 16 matches coming for WrestleNova, 8 matches per night for this two-night event. And the more that we find out about these stipulations, about what titles are on the line, who is facing who, the more excited I am getting, but not as excited as tonight's main event. We're gonna have a Hall of Famer make his return to the ring here tonight.
And her opponent from Cobb County, Georgia, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Haley Webb.
And now, introducing the Women's Intercontinental Champion, Haley Webb. coming out with her biker attitude, her rock and roll style. She's all high energy and no brakes. All explosions, but no crash. This woman has been dominating the mid-card division since her debut here in GTW, and now she'll be defending this Women's Intercontinental Championship at our pay-per-view this weekend. Will Rebecca Troy have what it takes to weaken Haley Webb enough for Amber Charlotte at WrestleNova? And we're starting off strong with Rebecca Troy with a kick to the midsection. And it looks like she's got her in a submission hold, but not for long, as Haley Webb punching her way out of it. Instinct taking over, the same instincts that has allowed Haley Webb to win the Intercontinental Championship. Now they're grappling up. Haley Webb throwing Rebecca Troy into the corner. I see these two women measuring each other up. Haley Webb placing Rebecca Troy in an armbar. And tightening the hold, bringing Rebecca Troy down to her knees. We can hear the Olympian Empress screaming out agony in the hands of the Intercontinental Champion. And here's a reversal by Rebecca Troy, now getting the arm lock onto Haley Webb. Haley Webb struggling to get out of it, and the tables seem to have turned. As good as Haley Webb has proven herself in the ring, you can't discount the experience of Rebecca Troy. She is a veteran here in GTW. She's been around for quite a few years, and there's a reason why Rebecca Troy is known to be one of the top women wrestlers in the main event roster. Here comes Rebecca Troy with a crossbody splash onto Haley Webb. Knee into the forehead. And you gotta remember, in Rebecca Troy's mind, her mission is to not win this match. It is to torture Haley Webb. It is to weaken her. It is to make her ripe for Amber Charlotte to pluck that Intercontinental Championship off of at WrestleNova, just as it was for Amber Charlotte to weaken Toni Storm for Rebecca Troy. And Toni Storm going for the pin, and Haley Webb immediately kicking out. Troy getting Haley Webb to her feet. She comes off the ropes, goes for a big boot, and no way home. Haley Webb going for a punch. Rebecca Troy dodges. Haley Webb comes in with a rebound. And there's Haley Webb signaling that she's ready. Comes in, lariat strike. Rebecca Troy stumbling onto her knees there. And Troy struggling to get on her feet. Haley Webb just not giving her time to recover. And she comes springing off those ropes. Wheelbarrow DDT by the Intercontinental Champion. Tonight has been an amazing night here in Dystopia for the women's division. We had 3 great matches so far, this being the 3rd. And here's Rebecca Troy with a spear onto Haley Webb. And she's going for the pin. 1, 2, and Haley Webb kicks out. And don't forget, folks, after this match, we're still scheduled to hear from the chosen one himself. Stephen Dynamite is in the building to address the crowd pertaining to the main event of Night 1 of WrestleNova, where he'll be taking on The Rock in a street fight. Haley Webb now going for the pin. 1, and there's Rebecca Troy with a kick out. And we still got our main event. The King Demon Sebastian versus Dio Sebation. Father versus son, one-on-one in the ring here tonight. Right at the eve of WrestleNova. Amazing maneuver by Haley Webb onto Rebecca Troy. But not enough to keep her down. Rebecca Troy immediately onto her feet. And now she's sizing her up. Rebecca Troy looking for the finish. Throws Haley Webb against the ropes. And she rolls it to a pin. 1, 2. And Haley Webb manages to kick out. Haley Webb going for the pin of her own. 1, 2. And there's Rebecca Troy with her own kick out. Haley Webb against the ropes. Troy failing to connect with her offensive maneuver. Haley Webb taking advantage now. And she just suplexed her and rolling into a net breaker. And this is why Haley Webb is Intercontinental Champion. Just look at those complex moves. The way she's able to chain one offensive move into another without even so much as releasing her opponent. Rebecca Troy going for that submission hold. Haley Webb able to use a gator roll to escape and throws Rebecca Troy over the top rope. And here she comes. Haley Webb, top rope, frog splash onto Rebecca Troy. Shot to the midsection by Rebecca Troy. Haley Webb throwing those elbows to the ribs. Irish whip. Rebecca Troy in trouble. But no, she manages to dodge. Get it. She got out of the way and got Haley Webb in a trio row. And just look at Rebecca Troy go there. Haley Webb weaving out of the way, throwing some strikes of her own. And here she comes with a net breaker onto Rebecca Troy. She's got her in a pin. 1, 2, 3. And Haley Webb picks up the victory.
Here is your winner, Haley Webb.
And what a victory by the Women's Intercontinental Champion. This woman seems to be unstoppable. Even Rebecca Troy is no match for her. Honestly, was that the best you could do, Troy? I went out there and I crossed my match. I am delivering you Toni Storm on a silver platter so you could be Women's United States Champion. I could have easily asked for that to be a title match, and I could have that belt right now, and you couldn't even handle Haley Webb. Is that it, Amber? Did you get it all off your chest? Because I honestly need a shower right now. You better hope I win. Or what? Remember who we all answer to, Amber. You'll do well to remember the pecking order in the old gods. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the chosen one, Steven Dynamite. Some say he's the man who just doomed GTW, while others are calling him the savior. There's one thing that we know for sure. The fate of the company lays in his hands at WrestleNova. Because it's a two-night event, we have two big, major main events. On night 2, the Witch will be challenging her brother Dio Sebation for the Grand Tour title in a Iron Man Hell in a Cell match. But for night 1 is to determine the future of Grand Tour Wrestling. Steven Dynamite will be going one-on-one against The Rock. It's gonna be the Chosen One versus the Great One. The Rock has already declared that during the hiatus period after WrestleNova, he will be signing papers to claim ownership of GTW. And when he does, he's gonna fire Charles Elliott. He's gonna fire everyone on staff that's friends with Steven Dynamite. He's going to make his mission to make the Witch and Amanda Price suffer. Miami, your chosen one is here. It is funny that we are not. It's funny that we are at the 11th hour of WrestleNova, the biggest event in GTW, a two-night pay-per-view taking place in Orlando. We are also in The Rock's hometown of Miami, and the Great One, the final boss, is nowhere to be found. I guess he's not the people's champion like he claims. It's okay, because right here in the ring, I am your people's champion. I wrestle every house show. I show up every brawl, every dystopia. I put my body on the line, and at WrestleNova, I'm putting my soul on the line. Losing means Charles Elliott's job. It means a lot of jobs lost. It means my friends suffer. And now, it means I become his dark apprentice. Forced to do his bidding whether I want to or not. That is why I cannot lose at WrestleNova. Rock. Dwayne. WrestleNova. You're going to find out just who I am. You might be the Great One, but I am the Chosen One. And when we face off at the Night 1 main event, you, Rock, have been chosen. Short and sweet, Steven Dynamite making his declaration. A lot of everyone's fate rests in his hands. Can Steven Dynamite save the soul of GTW this Saturday at WrestleNova's main event? When he takes on The Rock in a street fight, it's going to be a match for the ages. The Great One versus the Chosen One. Find out this Saturday on Infinite Fantasy if/twitch.tv in this big two-night pay-per-view event. And before we get into tonight's Dystopia main event, let's take a look at our matches we got for WrestleNova. For night 1, we're going to be having the Women's World Championship on the line as Amanda Price and Brenda Bison finally settle the score. The Hardcore title will be on the line in a 6-man gauntlet elimination match. It's going to be Archangel versus 5 other wrestlers, all ECW legends. And I have the card right here. The competitors for the 6-man Hardcore elimination match have finally been revealed. Archangel will be defending his title against the Sandman, Just Incredible, Rhino, Rob Van Dam, and Sabu. The Women's Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as Haley Webb will defend against Amber Charlotte. In a tables elimination match, we got the Dudley Boys defending the tag team titles against the Hardy Boys and the Outlaws in a triple threat tables elimination match. Grayson Holiday will also be participating in a triple threat match defending the Intercontinental Championship against Adam Cole and Chosen. The women's tag team titles will be on the line as Les Femme Fatales will be taking on Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And we just found out that Benjamin Bourne and Killer Cross won't be just going on one-on-one. It's made official. Benjamin Bourne versus Killer Cross in a steel cage match. And then the main event, a street fight for GTW Soul, The Rock versus Steven Dynamite. That will be our card for night 1. But going into GTW WrestleNova night 2, we got the World Heavyweight title on the line in a fatal 4-way as Stone Cold Steve Austin for his retirement match will be defending against Hercules, Jon Moxley, and Benjamin Bourne. Asuka will be going one-on-one against Rachel Rodriguez in a career ender match. The loser has to leave GTW forever. Joe Hendry will be defending his U.S. Championship against Chris Jericho as the U.S. Championship will be hung, suspended above a ring. It will be Joe Hendry versus Jericho in a ladder match. Over the last few weeks, between Brawl and GTW Underground, the Creed brothers have been trying to get the better of Braun Strowman. Now inviting Chad Gable to be a third member of their team, America Made, will be challenging Braun Strowman and 2 partners of his choosing. The Women's United States Championship will be on the line. Toni Storm going one-on-one, defending her title against Rebecca Troy. Andrea Armstrong will be challenging Damian Maximus, the European title on the line in a submission match. We got the mixed gender tag team titles on the line as Castor Black and Amy Zero will be defending their championship against mystery opponents. And then the main event for night 2, a 30-minute Iron Man Hell in a Cell match. The only way Dio Sebation and his sister the Witch can truly settle their personal matters. The Grand Tour Championship will be on the line, but between these two, it's more than that. It's proving which one is the stronger sibling. It'll be Dio versus the Witch. Hell in a Cell, trapped for 30 minutes. 16 matches, 8 matches per night in this grand 2-night event. This is WrestleNova. You can't miss it. It's going to be live streaming Saturday and Sunday at infinitefantasy/twitch.tv. This will act as the season finale before GTW goes on a hiatus as we transition into Grand Tour Wrestling Season 2. It's going to be rebuilt, coming back even better than ever with even more spectacular matches. But now, the time has come. It's our main event. You want a pay-per-view level match before the biggest pay-per-view of all time? It's here. The challenge was made but denied on Brawl. But after speaking to Charles Elliott, the King Demon always gets what he wants. It's going to be the return of Demon Sebation. One night only as he comes out of retirement to take on his own son, Dio Sebation. The title won't be on the line, but this is not about belts. This is a matter in the family, a personal matter between father and son. Who is the stronger Sebastian? Let's find out right here in tonight's dystopian main event.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Salem, Massachusetts, weighing in at 258 pounds, the Demon, Douglas Gabriel Sebastian.
It's gotta be over 20 years since this man has stepped into a ring. It's gotta be at least 20 years. Maybe longer. Maybe almost 30 years since the King Demon, Douglas Sebastian, has competed inside a squared circle. Decades since he's last put on the war paint. Decades since he's last put on that ring gear. This is a GTW Hall of Famer. He has won the World Heavyweight Championship countless times, has defeated and dominated nearly every opponent. This is the man who built GTW, and now he's going to be taking on his son, the Grand Tour champion, Dio.
And his opponent, representing the Unholy Union from New York, weighing in at 246 pounds, the Grand Prix champion, the Demon, Dio Sebation.
And you gotta be wondering what's going through the mind of Dio right now. He's already gonna be forced to face his own sister in a Hell in a Cell match at the main event of WrestleNova to defend his title. But tonight, against his own wishes, will be taking on his father. And you gotta wonder if Dio's gonna be holding back tonight, worrying about his own father's health. And you can definitely see the resemblance between these two. You can definitely see where the torch was passed. And you can already see that the King Demon has not lost a step as he's already manhandled Dio. Now one can argue that Dio could be holding back in this match. He is afraid that his father's heart can't take it here tonight. They exchanged some words on Brawl, and I think Dio might be regretting it now. And you see him backing Sebastian into the ropes right now. And he gets a cheap shot in, rolls his father into a pin. One, and there's the King Demon kicking out. Dio continuing on the onslaught. Now you gotta remember the King Demon in his prime was the absolute best. There was no one who can match him. But he is old. He's not in the same shape he was nearly 30 years ago. One. And there's Dio kicking out. Dio rolling out of the ring there, trying to gain some distance from his father. King Demon not letting loose though. He's gaining the advantage, grappling Dio from behind. Here he comes, rolling into a pin once more. And Dio reversing. A counter pin by Dio Sebation. And look at that strength from the King Demon. One. And a kick out by Dio. And come grappling up. Testing each other's strength. The King Demon bringing his son Dio into the corner. The referee forcing the trigger. And another cheap shot by Dio. A right hand. And it looks like Dio's done holding back there. Now resorting to cheap shots. Dio sweeping his father right off his feet. This is a match for the ages. This is not just a match between two men bearing the same gimmick. This is, in a way, this is a way passing the torch. When you think about it, this match, in a way, in itself, is a rite of passage. Dio now on the top turnbuckle, measuring the King Demon up. And he comes on double exhale, but no, Douglas Sebation able to counter. He saw him coming, and here it comes. The King Demon attempting a choke slam. He was attempting a signature choke slam, but Dio able to see it coming. You can tell that these two men know each other so well. After all, it was King Demon Sebation himself who trained Dio. You can see that age, that old age of King Demon Sebation starting to wear on him. He started off strong, but he doesn't have the endurance. He doesn't have the stamina he used to. And it's starting to show in this match. Dio now picks him up. Power slam into the middle of the ring. Here comes the pin. 1, 2. But the King Demon gets the shoulder up. Dio sizes him up. And here it comes. He's looking their way. Dio with the end of days. 1, 2, and again, the King Demon kicks out. In the days, originally, the finisher move of King Demon Sebation along with the choke slam. All the moves Dio utilizes every week in his matches, he learned from his father. And now, King Demon throwing Dio into the steel stairs. He's coming in. DDT. The King Demon starting to get a second breath onto Dio. Dio with a huge body slam. The first strike, and there's a huge headbutt by the King Demon. He's going for the Irish whip. Picks him up and a hip toss, throwing him right across. And looks like the King Demon sizing him up. It looks like he's ready to finish this match off. Ready to teach his son a lesson as he makes his way to the top turnbuckle. King Demon going to fly with a leg drop, but nobody home. Dio rolling out of the way and takes his father down, checking him with the shoulder. The Irish whip. King Demon Sebation throws him. Big boot by King Demon. And now he's got locked in. Here it comes. His signature choke slam. Will be enough. 1, 2. But Dio gets the shoulder up. Now size up. Could it be? Is Dio about to get a taste of his own medicine? No. It's even worse. Tombstone pile driver by the King Dio Sebation. And it's a 1, 2, and Dio again gets the shoulder up. Also, I think the whole arena thought was over. Never in his career has anyone ever kicked out of the tombstone pile driver, and Dio Sebation might have been one of the first. That second rope, frog splash onto the King Demon. He's going for that pin. Looks like he's trying to end his match as early as possible, and once again, Douglas Sebation able to kick out. Dio now picking him up. Forward slam. And looks like Dio's looking to go for a choke slam of his own. Borrowing his own father's move against him. Choke slam by Dio Sebation. 1, 2, 3, and Dio picks up the win.
Here is your winner, the Demon, Dio Sebation.
Back in his prime, the King Demon. Douglas Sebation was the absolute best. But as everyone thought, his age has just caught up to him. Tonight, Dio Sebation has surpassed his father. The torch has been passed. Dio is now the Demon Sebation. A torch that will be on the line in the form of the Grand Tour Championship when we get to our main event of WrestleNova. He was able to defeat the father, but when it comes to being locked inside a Hell in a Cell for 30 minutes, will he have what it takes to defeat his sister, the Witch, to remain Grand Tour Champion? Or will the Witch be able to rise above and prove she is the better of the siblings and become the new Grand Tour Champion? Find out on Sunday's main event for WrestleNova, when Dio Sebation takes on the Witch in an Iron Man Hell in a Cell match, the Grand Tour title on the line. WrestleNova live streaming here at Infinite Fantasy /Twitch.tv, both Saturday and Sunday, with 2 major main events. You can't miss the season finale of Grand Tour Wrestling in this 2-night epic pay-per-view event. Speaking of Twitch, don't forget to follow and subscribe. Every bit of support counts. And for those of you watching on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when new episodes of GTW come to you. As always, may your fantasies be infinite. Now we're done with tonight's recordings of Brawl and Dystopia. Before we log off tonight, I just want to mention that after WrestleNova, there will be a hiatus on GTW shows as I make my transition from WWE 2K25 to WWE 2K26. I'm going to be moving to an upgraded game with better graphics, better physics, better camera work, better gameplay altogether. New match types, new weapons such as thumbtacks, inferno matches. We got whole new stuff on a whole new level, and we're going to bring GTW to another level. In the meantime, as we're taking this hiatus, as I'm rebuilding GTW, there's going to be other live streams on WWE 2K26, such as my Rise, my Showcase. We're going to look at things like creative modes. I'm going to take you behind the scenes to show you how Grand Tour Wrestling Season 2 is going to be made. So make sure you hit that follow button to check it all out. And once again, I said it before for the YouTube recording, but one more time for all you Twitch fans out there. May your fantasies be infinite.